Hello there. So I just played my first game of Marvel Rivals, and man, is this game fun. I have not had this much fun in a game in a while. So I definitely recommend you guys to just try it. I don't care if you really don't like it, just try it. It's free, it's 50 gigabytes, doesn't hurt to try. But let's get into the best settings for the most FPS. So this game, one thing to note in particular is that it is quite GPU heavy. You're gonna notice that because your GPU is gonna be running like an airplane while running this game. So here are the settings. Display mode full screen always. Aspect ratio 69. Most of us are gonna be doing that unless you're playing stretched res, but that's a whole nother video. That's a whole topic I'm not gonna cover. The resolution, it should always be at your monitor's native resolution. So if it's 2560 by 1440, set it to that. If it's 1080p, set it to 1080p. So on what I was saying about how this game is GPU heavy, I would actually recommend everyone, even if you're a 1080p user, to use anti-aliasing super resolution type. I'm using an AMD card, so I would choose AMD FSR here. Quality, of course. Actually, I think I'm gonna switch to ultra quality in a moment. But yeah, ultra quality or native. Um, and then the sharpening, I wouldn't touch it. I would just leave it at 80. Unless you're really noticing that things aren't looking clear, then turn it up to 100. Feel free to. Select your frame generation mode as whatever your graphics card is going to be. Mine is going to be FSR3. For NVIDIA users, I'm pretty sure it's DLSS3. This is actually pretty important because, as I said, it's GPU heavy. So without this, you're gonna actually be running like frame rates, maybe non-desirable frame rates. Without this, I was running 170 frames per second in a game, which is not really what I want. I want more than 240 frames to match my hertz. So I chose to use frame generation, and I'm running around 200 to 300 FPS in game. Low latency mode, I don't have the option, but if you do, definitely turn it on. I wouldn't touch the brightness unless you're really having some problems with brightness. I would cap my FPS at 237 again. If you're using FreeSync and G-Sync, cap it at 3 below your refresh rate. So I have 240 hertz, so it's 237. But for some reason, this cap is overridden when we turned on frame generation mode. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just put the cap on anyway. But just keep in mind, if you're going to use frame generation, which I really do recommend you use in this game, your FPS is not going to be capped. It didn't seem like it. So, but that's not big of an issue. I would show my FPS. Network stats really depends. I don't need to see them, but it doesn't hurt to turn them on. Never use VSync. That's what G-Sync and FreeSync are for. It looks like it's also grayed out here when you have one of these on, like your super resolution type anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just make sure your VSync is off no matter what. I don't care if you're using FSR or not. Never use VSync. Just use FreeSync or G-Sync for your monitors. Here, there is an optimize button, but if you clicked on this video, I would just go through these with me. So for the graphics quality, it'd be custom because we're changing these things. For global illumination, I have it on low quality because that's not really what I'm looking for. But if you're a guy who's just super interested in environmental lighting and just you need the best quality, you need the best picture, then go ahead and turn it on like high quality or whatever. Lumen, as far as I know, it's something to do with the Unreal Engine. It just makes things look a little more vibrant. I'm not too sure about this, but for the most players will have this on low quality on SSGI. For reflection quality, I would keep it on space reflections unless your PC is better. Use Lumen, but as far as I know, SSR is the standard reflections for most users. Model detail, I have it on low because I'm not really, I don't really need my gun to look perfect. I also have post processing on low, shadows on low, textures on medium. If you have a better computer or better GPU, as I said again, this game is very GPU heavy. So if you have a better GPU, feel free to go high. I would just keep it on medium here. For players, I have a mid-range PC, so keep it on medium. Effects on medium, and then foliage on low, because foliage is just referring to like bushes, trees, grass, and we don't really need that on high quality.